I have returned, my people. I
Word
have
up.
returned to you. I'm
Woo!
here.
Big Sherm in the house. What's going on, brother? How you been?
I'm good. I'm under this do rag or thing right here. I look like I'm back in the 50s and stuff. Big ass fro with the curls in it and whatnot. So
Oh, listen. I'm rocking
can't
my
get no
George.
hair. Can't get no. Can't get no haircuts no more.
Yeah, listen, man. Under this hat is George Jefferson, so this is why I got this on right now.
Girl, you always been bald. What the hell are you talking about?
No, not bald. I'm talking about George Jefferson. There's a difference. I don't mind being bald, but being George Jefferson, I do not want to be seen like that on camera. So, so it's okay. But so this episode is called this is episode 97. This
Oh,
episode, yeah. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, please. I'll let you finish first. Then I want to say something first, like I've been doing on my page. But go ahead.
Oh, okay, so this episode is episode 97 and it's called Singular Focus. Basically, what this episode is about, we are continuing our coverage of the Last Dance documentary, particularly episodes 7 and 8, in those episodes, it showed the determination and somewhat the tyrant-abrasive style of Michael Jordan when it came to leading his Chicago Bulls teammates. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to talk about the documentary and, a little bit tidbits in here. But Big Sherm, go ahead.
I'd like to dedicate this episode of Let's Be Real Sports to all the nurses, PCAs, transporters, housekeeping, food service personnel in hospitals and everywhere who's essential around this world. Thank you for your dedication in this time of need and in the pandemic. Thank you.
Word. Everything Sherman said, kind of the same. So, Sherman, what did you get from episodes 7 and 8?
7 and 8 was really, to me, about when Jordan left. Like, Jordan was burnt out.
Yeah.
He felt like he accomplished everything. Not on top of that, months later, his father dying in a senseless murder.
Yeah. So I didn't. Yeah, that to me that murder, how they try to blame it on Jordan gambling. How the media tried to do that. I think that was very wrong. I think it was bad. I mean, this was kind of like the first time where Jordan was in the light where he was kind of being criticized a lot, right? For the longest, everybody wanted to be like Mike, but he starts getting this little venom by the media. And then, episode 5 and 6 talked about how he took the 2 weeks media silence, right? The interesting thing was, to me, in episode 7 was the retirement, right? Because it's like you have this guy who's at the peak of his powers at the time, right? Just killing, which you find out in the documentary that he wanted to retire. He talked about it in June 92 with the Dream Team. The only thing that kept him motivated was the fact that Bird and Magic didn't win three. They never three-peated. So Jordan was so competitive, right? He had this singular focus to just dominate his opponents and dominate the players of the past. It was like, I'm tired, but I'm going to stay just to say that I did something that the greats haven't done, right? Because those guys, go ahead.
That's his drive. His drive is what fueled him.
Yeah.
Any little thing he took that could drive him to be great, drove him to be great. And that's what he took.
Yeah.
For me, Jordan was already killing the game. He was on top of the world. I want to be like Mike commercials came out. He was Bulls versus Blazers came out in '92 for SNES. Like it was Jordan Mania was really sweeping the nation at that point.
Yeah.
And for him to remove himself from the game because he felt like he conquered everything, and he wasn't in the league long at that when he retired that long.
Yeah, he was like 9-year pro, right? He came in '84 and he retired '93, so it was like 9 seasons, right?
9 seasons, and he accomplished so much in that short window of time.
He did.
The gambling really sapped his energy because for a while you hear everybody in the media talking about, oh, Jordan's doing this gambling and he got to stop. Like they're really trying to paint him as a bad guy because You couldn't
Yeah.
really touch Mike for anything up until that point.
Yeah, because
You couldn't touch.
Mike Mike was like a godlike figure in the league, right? Like he was the god of basketball, right? And the thing was, everybody did want to be like Mike, but the problem with that is like, and he talks about it. He's like, "Yo, being Michael Jordan is hard, right? Because there's a certain expectations that you have to live up to." So the crazy thing is like his competitive drive, because he knew that fans were in the stands to see him, that he had to do everything in his power to make sure that he was a go every night, right? When you win 3 titles, I'm pretty sure winning 1 title, you kind of lose motivation the next season, right? For let's say the average NBA player,
But I don't
right?
think you lose motivation. You want to keep winning.
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, for
You
me
want
to
to
be,
keep winning. That's what it's about. Like once you win one, you want to keep going because you're trying to build a legacy of winning. That's
nah,
what
but
it's about.
I hear you. But even Jordan talked about just being tired, right? So it was like, I think it was more so like his father passing, right? And then
Right, right.
and then the media coming at him about the gambling stuff. You
Well,
know, the Jordan Rules book came out at the time. There was this other book about, I forgot the guy's name, but there was another book discussing him and Jordan's gambling addictions or whatever. So it changed, right? Jordan had this halo around him for the longest, and it was like he was just on, like, now it was going away, right? With the Sam Smith book, The Jordan
mm-hmm.
Rules, how it showed Jordan in a demonstrative way when he was kind of coming at his teammates. Practices was very rough. You know, Phil Jackson talks about a time where he had to throw Michael out, right? I mean, listen, to be fair, Steve Kerr did kind of push him in the chest, and then Michael Jordan comes and sock him in the eye. But
But where Jordan was coming from at the time was, listen, you got to be rough because in that time the Pistons, the Knicks, these
well,
teams
this is this.
were rough, and
So
you got to be prepared for that. You can't
yeah,
be you
yeah,
can't be
and I
like, oh,
get
they're
that.
fouling me and stuff like that because it's psychologically you're done
Yeah,
if you succumb to that.
yeah,
That when Pat Riley was in Showtime, he didn't have that. He had Showtime. He had Magic.
yeah,
Everything was good. When he came to the Knicks, he understood what the talent he had.
yeah,
So he had to change his tactics to a blue collar, smash mouth in your face, a Detroit Pistons type like style
yeah,
in
yeah,
order to compete with Jordan and the Bulls at the time.
yeah,
And Jordan was trying to make sure, like, yo, you can't call these tick and tack fouls because the Knicks are going to sit there and just run everybody on. They're not going to run me, Michael Jordan, under because I'm used to it. I went through the Pistons.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
People went through the Pistons. These new guys didn't go through what they went through at first, and that's where you're trying to get to build these guys too.
yeah. So
To make
that
sure,
was that
yeah,
was the thing. Steve Kerr, Luke Longley, they weren't part of that
and
Bulls
Bushler.
first three-peat, and Bushler wasn't part of that Bulls first three-peat, right? So these guys came in thinking like, hey, everything is sweet. Now you got to understand, this is after Jordan loses to the Magic, right? In that game that they lose.
That wasn't Mike.
What?
That wasn't Mike.
No, listen, I get it. And Nick Anderson said they kind of push him in the chest, and then Michael Jordan comes and sock him in the eye. But
where Jordan was coming from at the time was, listen, you got to be rough because in that time the Pistons, the Knicks, these teams were rough, and you got to be prepared for that. You can't be like, oh, they're fouling me and stuff like that because it's psychologically you're done if you succumb to that.
Yeah.
That when Pat Riley was in Showtime, he didn't have that. He had Showtime. He had Magic.
Yeah.
Everything was good. When he came to the Knicks, he understood what the talent he had.
Yeah.
So he had to change his tactics to a blue collar, smash mouth in your face, a Detroit Pistons type like style.
Yeah. Yeah.
In order to compete with Jordan and the Bulls at the time.
Yeah.
And Jordan was trying to make sure, like, yo, you can't call these tick and tack fouls because the Knicks are going to sit there and just run everybody on. They're not going to run me, Michael Jordan, under because I'm used to it. I went through the Pistons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
People went through the Pistons. These new guys didn't go through what they went through at first, and that's where you're trying to get to build these guys too.
Yeah. So that was the thing. Steve Kerr, Luke Longley, they weren't part of that Bulls first three-peat, and Bushler wasn't part of that Bulls first three-peat, right? So these guys came in thinking like, hey, everything is sweet. Now you got to understand, this is after Jordan loses to the Magic, right? In that game that they lose.
That wasn't Mike.
What?
That wasn't Mike.
No, listen, I get it. And Nick Anderson said it, right? 45 ain't 23, right? He came back the following game. Jordan came back the following game, dropped 38 on them. The Magic ended up beating them because, listen, that Magic team was good. Nick Anderson, you got Shaq, you got Penny Hardaway. Whatever. He ain't choked that series. You know what I'm saying? So then we go into Jordan then filming Space Jam, right? And kind of trying to get his legs back under him, where he's filming 12 hours a day.
And that's him during him playing baseball.
No, this is after. So this is after he came back from baseball. This was after. Yeah, because so Jordan was retired for 17 months, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, he left. The reason why Jordan left because his first love was always baseball, and he talked about it religiously with his dad in '92 about, hey, I'm getting a little exhausted. I think I want to play baseball. Now, Jordan averaged a
202 average.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And what, double A?
Yeah, double A in Birmingham.
Yeah.
A 202 average, 50 RBI, 3 home runs. I forget the on-base percentage. I wrote all this in the blog.
It's okay. But so when Jordan comes, Jordan's now starting to practice with his old teammates, right?
You are correct, Joe.
Yeah.
That's when he was just he wanted to get his leg back. He did the movie, but at the same time,
yeah.
You know what I thought about?
What?
At the same time he was doing the movie and have these guys come in and train with him, I think at the same time he was getting intel on these guys, on their games.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, and that's the thing. It's like if you're coming to the set in California for this movie and you're running 2-hour games, you're gonna understand players' tendencies. And I think it was like a two-pronged thing where Jordan got to understand players' tendencies and then at the same time get his legs back, because that was the problem when he first returned, right? The reason why he lost in that finals in that Eastern Conference Finals in '95 was the fact that he didn't have his legs under him, because Tim Grover said it. He's like, listen, you've been training for baseball.
Right.
Now you have to recondition your whole body to train for the game of basketball. Right. And I think that the early retirement reinvigorated Jordan. But you wasn't just gonna come back and step on the court and do what you do. Like,
but also in just he saw the Houston Rockets win back-to-back titles, and it was starting to Jordan. I think to me, from what I look like, Jordan felt like, oh shit, it's slipping away.
Yeah,
my legacy starting to slip away a little bit. I mean, everybody still knows Jordan, of course.
Yeah.
But after Hakeem did what he did with the 2 finals, like he was like, damn, I might need to get back in the game and show these guys what I can really do again.
Yeah.
Don't forget what I used to do, and I can still do it at a high level.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like you could kind of see Jordan in that '96 finals against the Sonics, right?
They had no shot.
The crazy thing, man. The crazy thing about that though was George Karl opted for Gary. Now the glove.
Come on, Joe.
Wait, listen. Gary Payton just won Defensive Player of the Year that year, right? He made the all defensive team. That team was 60% Bulls player. It was Jordan, it was Rodman, and it was Pippen, right? And Gary, I don't know who the other guy was, but I know Gary Payton made that list as well. Mm-hmm. My thing was Jordan did have a bad game too, and he talked about that poor game too. But the thing that because remember the Bulls won 4-2, right? Mm-hmm. So
they could have really swept these dudes. I think, to me personally, and me watching it at the time as a kid, I think they let them have those 2 damn games, because they really easily could have beat these guys. The first 3 games were no contest, even with Jordan playing bad in game 2.
Yeah.
They really did. Like, Seattle would have, for a 64-win team, that's a pretty good standing in the NBA playoffs going into it. Yeah. But when you're so overmatched by these guys, and they went up 3-0, I was like, damn, they're about to sweep these guys.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, now George Karl want to put GP on Jordan. Like, and Jordan laughed it off. Like, after when he seen the video of Gary Payton explain like how you think he slowed down Jordan, I'm like, you don't slow down no goddamn Michael Jordan.
Well, I mean, you listen. Jordan
Hey,
is
yo,
ahead of his time, B. So I get it.
come on, man.
Jordan is ahead of his time, but Gary Payton kind of had him shooting bad in those last two games, man. You know what I'm
Understand?
saying? When George Karl made the switch, which he should have done earlier, right?
I still don't think it would have done much for the outcome. To me, I still don't
Listen.
think it would have done nothing to the outcome. Okay, so say you do slow down Jordan. You slow down Jordan. You still had Pippen. You still had Kukoc.
Yeah.
You had Kerr.
Well, I think
And
the second half of
angle.
the second, yeah. Which I'm glad that they ran that because I'm pretty certain that was that shit that Doug Collins was running for Jordan back in the 80s. Nah,
Hey, got him past Cleveland.
I hear you.
Shot.
I hear you.
Cleveland.
But they should have put Ron Harper instead of Craig Elo on.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? You know what I'm saying? But my thing is I wanted to touch too was how did you feel about because there was times in the documentary, man, where freaking Jordan was going at teammates. Like his competitive nature, his drive kind of alienated some of his teammates to the point where Will Perdue was like, listen, understand that this motherfucker was a jerk. Like he was a fucking asshole. But they appreciated it for him. I mean, what do you think about it?
Because listen, at the time that we're talking about, there was no internet. If we would have heard the stories, we heard back then, and it came out in the internet now, social media and everything like that, we would say Jordan's a piece of shit. He's garbage. He's trash.
Oh yeah, definitely
under the sun.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
At the time of when this was going on, this was the norm. Practices were hard. Trash talking was harsh, but it was getting you prepared for the game.
Yeah, I mean,
in the lines.
Yeah, I think the documentary kind of blew it out of proportion a little bit, because, like, I know that people talk shit. There's shit talking all over the league, and I'm pretty sure in practices, like you hear the game clips where somebody's cursing or somebody's saying like "get the fuck out of here" when they grab a rebound. I forgot what Melo says when he grabs a rebound, but you hear it all the time. So for me, how the media kind of, not the media, but the documentary, how to kind of painted Jordan, I don't think it was fair. And Jordan, he was tearing up a little bit because he felt kind of attacked because he had that singular focus. All he cared about was winning and making the guys better around him. But the thing that I think that Jordan did wrong was that he felt like everybody ticked like him, right? Like not all players have the same motivation, right?
But in order to win, you have to race to a level.
You do.
There's a level you have to race to.
How you motivate that person is something entirely different. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Like I said, back then, times were different.
Yeah.
It was only Jordan doing that. I'm pretty sure in other practices, Magic was doing it.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas was doing it for the Pistons.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Magic. Yeah.
Not saying we know these people or anything of the kind, but looking how Jordan did it and everything, these practices were so hard in the trenches. They were getting you prepared mentally for the physical strain of what was going on. The coaches coach harder. Not like today, when you like you say, the low management is damn near killed the game. I don't think it's killed the game. I think you're preserving your body.
Yeah.
But back then, it was a true grind.
Yeah.
It was a real grind.
So before you continue, I just want to touch back on the Gary Payton thing in that 96 finals, right? So George Karl made the switch in game 4 and was like, fuck it, right? Mm-hmm. So Michael Jordan, he was 6 for 19 in game 4. That's a 31% field goal percentage. He brought it up back in game 5 to 50% from 11 to 22 shooting. And then in game 6, he was 5 of 19. That's a 26% from the field goal. And he had 22 points. So
pretty low.
So it ain't
low for standards.
It ain't Jordan standards, right? Gary Payton did do a pretty decent job on him.
Because Jordan for his career averaged 30 in the final. I think 30, 31, 32 in the finals.
Yeah, it was something. I don't have the numbers right now, now but
Right. But
it was
it's
something
somewhere
crazy.
he's averaged over 30 in the finals. That's for certain.
Yeah, yeah,
But that 22 number kind of, I forgot about that, to tell you the truth.
yeah. Listen, man. I mean, I know Jordan was coming back, and it wasn't Jordan running the league like in '92, but listen, Gary Payton was a hell of a defender.
But in '96, there was the greatest collection of talent ever. They had Rodman on the defense. They had Pippen doing everything. He was the true playmaker. Jordan was the true scorer.
Yeah.
So Jordan didn't really need to do all that after, per se.
Yeah, I mean, I think that time when Jordan left and Scottie Pippen was, Scottie Pippen was third in MVP votes when Jordan left,
Right.
So Scottie Pippen was well capable of leading the team. I know there was a part in the documentary where they talk about Phil draws a play up for Tony Kukoc because
when Scottie quit.
Yeah, because at some point during the season, Tony Kukoc became their closer, right? Like, what I didn't like about it is that Scottie Pippen talked about playing as a committee, right? It wasn't just when Jordan left and went to go play baseball, the Bulls was playing as a committee, right? Phil Jackson showed his true prowess as a head coach.
Right.
And successfully running the triangle, right? Getting everyone involved. My thing was, you hear Scottie talk about that, and then at the same time, what happens is like, this is what I think it was game 2 against the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? They're down. No, it's game 3 in the Eastern Conference Final. They're down 2-0 to Bulls. They're losing to the Knicks, right? Knicks fans should watch this shit because this was Knicks in their glory, man. This was Knicks in their glory. They should watch it.
Because let me tell you something. I tell people this all the time. That was the only window the Knicks had. The only window the Knicks had was that time in '94.
We had a window in '99. Y'all remember that?
I was not beating no freaking Tim Duncan. Stop it.
Whatever. Tim Duncan wasn't even Tim Duncan.
But yet he listen. Well, listen. If you tell the Knicks to guard Avery Johnson and don't let him shoot all those jumpers so wide open, maybe they would have been in the series still.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe
they would have been in the series.
You're right. But you're right. You're right. I ain't wrong. Yeah, listen, there's things you right about. There's things I'm right about. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Of course. But I'm saying, how the hell do you leave Avery Johnson so wide open? I mean, granted, in the conference finals, in the semifinals, he was missing a lot of open shots.
Yeah.
But at some point in the finals, Jeff Van Gundy, can someone guard Avery Johnson from scoring all these damn like, he was open half the game or half the series.
Yeah.
If anything, he should have won the goddamn MVP.
Yeah.
But continue, please.
But all I'm saying is this, right? So
94, you're talking about.
Was it 90? Yeah, 94, right? Scottie was ripping the league and being the Bulls' solo star. He talks about it being a committee, which I understand because you kind of have to run things differently now that Jordan is in there. But there's a game in the Eastern Conference Finals, I believe, in game 3 where the Bulls are down. Phil Jackson goes ahead. He draws a plays for Tony Kukoc. Pippen isn't happy about it, right?
And you know why he wasn't happy about it?
He's not happy about it because he's been in Jordan's shadow all along. He's third in MVP votes, and Tony Kukoc, who was drafted in 1990 but came to the league in '93.
But that was Jerry Krause's boy, though.
Huh?
That was Jerry Krause's boy, though.
That was Jerry, but that was the problem. You see, and that's the thing that so they kind of set it up in the '92 when Jordan and Pippen went after Tony Kukoc, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, when he was playing on Croatia.
Mm-hmm.
My thing was, people got to understand the reason why Pippen kind of felt like that, right? Because Jerry Krause, who is the architect and also the fucking destroyer of the Bulls dynasty.
Idiot.
Yeah, it is idiot.
I'm sorry, it's an idiot.
Jerry Krause, this was supposed to be Tony Kukoc was supposed to be the evolution of the Bulls, right? He cemented Tony Kukoc as the next star, as the future, right? So my thing is when you're in the Eastern Conference Finals and you got a chance to go to the NBA Finals, right? It was game 3, the pendulum could still swing, but it was a pivotal game because the Bulls were already down 2-0. When your head coach, who you are in the trenches with every day, draws a play to win the game for Tony Kukoc instead of his legitimate stud of a superstar player, listen, I get why he was upset, but his action of sitting on the bench was wrong. To the point, it upsetted Bill Cartwright, and Bill Cartwright was crying. He was making a speech, and he was crying. And listen, what happened after that? Pippen went on, and he dunked on Ewing, right? Pippen had their back. They ended up losing the series, right?
All for nothing.
Yeah, but they probably could have won that series if Pippen was more engaged. Because listen, you let bygones be bygones, but there's still some things that you hold on residual, right? Subconsciously or whatever, or even consciously. But I think Pippen sitting down in that game 3 was the thing that made them lose the series, right? And listen, he went on to win 6 titles, and that's fine. It's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but
it could have been goddamn 7.
Could have.
It really could have been. But the fracture at that point was too much.
Yeah.
I mean, they said they forgave him, and I understand it because you have more games to go.
Yeah.
But like after that, the residual it leaves a scar tissue.
Yeah.
That you cannot come back from.
Yeah.
And in that, I saw the Knicks. When the Knicks won, I saw Patrick Ewing talking like, yeah, we did it. And I said to myself, and I think a lot of people said too, Michael Jordan wasn't there. You really think if Jordan was there, y'all really would have did what y'all really would have done?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure
they've been trying for at least 2 to 3 years trying to knock off the Bulls. Yeah. And when they finally beat the Bulls, I think to them it was bittersweet.
Yeah.
It was bittersweet, but yet they still had the finals to take care of.
Yeah.
And they literally did it until John Starks started to build Trump Tower in Game 6.
Word.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No, Game 7. Excuse me. Was it Game 6? See, I don't have the numbers in front of me.
It's okay, man.
In one of those games, John Starks was shooting so many bricks. I'm like, yo, can they not get where was Ewing? Where was Ewing?
Ewing still had good knees at that time.
It don't matter. You're going against Akeem. Listen, the matchup was Akeem versus Ewing.
Yeah.
And John Starks is shooting bricks just because he had a hot early game in the series. You think you're the superstar now? Know your role.
Go to the hot hand, man, but that hand was cold as shit.
Cold as ice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing nice. But for me, I think when Jordan came back though, in 95.
Yeah.
In first game against the Pacers. I've never seen that type of rock star mentality in my life. I mean, you started with the Dream Team, of course. But when Michael came back, it was like theater. Everybody came to Market Square Arena, Indiana to play. And Reggie Miller was well prepared for that.
Oh, I used to love those Bulls and Pacers battles, man.
Oh my God, I cannot wait for them to show this last episode.
Oh, that's the crazy thing, man. It's done tonight, man. Like man. I need more, man, because my thing is I love that it's about the 97 and 98 season of the Chicago Bulls. But there was so much, man, from Pippen's background for Dennis Rodman not really caring about the game of basketball to him staying in the gyms 2 a.m., learning, just rebounding with his friends and learning the tendencies of shooters and how to catch the rebounds and how to come off the bounce, to Pippen's bad contract, to every Jordan joke about Jerry Krause, how he couldn't have a cigar because of the stunner's growth. You know what I mean? Freaking Phil.
Man, I'm a short guy. Don't do this.
Phil Jackson and his Zen Buddhism. And that's the thing that's most impressive to me about it, is that Phil had the talent, right? But Phil knew how to manage the talent, where it was like Doug Collins was like, listen, man, we're going to ride you to the ground. And he did that with Jordan in 88. But Phil was, Phil was a Tex winner guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
But to his credit, he won almost every award during that season.
Yeah.
Scoring title, defensive MVP. Like Jordan was really like for y'all to say Jordan was like Doug Collins. I don't think he ran him to the ground. I don't think Jordan ran him into the ground. I think more like it's just like Jordan desired to win.
No, Doug Collins ran Jordan into the ground.
But still, Jordan said, "Yo, I'm with it." Jordan didn't pout or anything like that. He was like, "Yo, running with it."
No, I will say this. He kind of was, but he axed out of that point guard role after that 1988 season. So Jordan wasn't with it all the way. Listen, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Let's Be Real. This was episode 97, Singular Focus. If you have any questions and comments, make sure to hit us up at lbrstalk@gmail.com. Make sure to check out our Facebook page at Let's Be Real Sports Blog with Big Sherm and Quincy. I don't know if he still does, but whatever.
He does it.
He does. They do a wonderful job of creating content in between episodes. You can also hit us up at our Twitter at Let's Be Real Sports. Yeah, go ahead.
Also, really quick, we are now on Spotify for free $3.99. So if you so kind, just type in Let's Be Real Sports in Spotify. You'll check every episode we have done.
Yeah. And thank you guys. And catch episode 9 and 10. We'll be back next Sunday for our finale of the recap of The Last Dance. And make sure you stay tuned to that. That's another episode in the back. Peace.
This has been a Gifted Sounds podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe, rate, and review. For more podcasts, please visit giftedsounds.com.